Tonight, if you'd turn to Psalms chapter 84. We're going to talk of nowhere else would I rather be. Psalms chapter 84, verse 10. Better is one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tents of the wicked. There's many reasons why we come together, whenever it might be, first day of the week, Wednesday night, get together for a barbecue here coming up pretty quick at Rogers Place. What we get from those times together is invaluable because we get to fellowship together. We get to have our young ones there to show them our faith. We get to encourage our brothers and sisters. We get to help them spiritually, emotionally. But probably one of the most important things when we gather together, when we worship with our family, is our communing with God. I think sometimes we look at all of these other benefits that are to our benefit from others around us, and we forget that the most benefit we can possibly get is from God. Communing with Him. When we gather around the table, it tells us in His Word, we're communing with Him. He's there with us. And I don't think there's anyone in here that's more important than communing with God Himself. It's good that we can commune with one another. It's good that we have brothers and sisters. We have a family unit. That we can rely on each other. Whether it's husbands and wives, parents to children, brother to sister. Those things are important. Extremely important. That's why He made the body of Christ, the church. That's why He made it the way it was. Many members, but one body. But we always have to remember that number one is God. Because without Him, all this would be for nothing. It truly would be. We might be encouraged, yes, but that encouragement comes from God through all of us. He's working in all of us. If we're not an encouragement to someone that's in need, then God's not working in us. We have many that struggle spiritually. We need to be an encouragement to them. Nowhere else I'd rather be than with my family. But truly, nowhere else would I like to be than with God. That's the ultimate goal. We're struggling in this life, but our goal as we run this race is heaven, where God is. If you'll turn over to Psalms 27, I'm going to get a couple, three passages here of how important it is. Psalm 27, verse 4. One thing I ask of the Lord, this is what I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple. Isn't that what we truly want? That I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. Not only here do I want to be as close as I can with God, but I want to spend eternity with him. And that's what we need to concentrate on each day. Because Satan is going to pull us to the side, try to have us take our eyes off Jesus. Turn over to Psalm 63. Start in verse 1. O God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My body longs for you in a dry and weary land where there is no water. I have seen you in the sanctuary and beheld your power and your glory. Because your love is better than life, my lips will glorify you. I will praise you as long as I live, and in your name I will lift up my hands. Longing for him. The soul thirsts for him. Do we have that kind of longing for God? Do we thirst for him? Knowing that his love is better than life? That's what our attitude should be. When we gather together, first and foremost on our mind is we are gathered together as his body, as his church. Whether it be for a barbecue or a cornhole game or whatever it is, when we're gathered together with brothers and sisters, that should be first and foremost on our minds, is God and what he's done for us. Because without him, where would we be? Where would we be? Turn over to Psalms 122. I rejoiced with those who said to me, "Let us go to the house of the Lord." Pretty short and sweet, isn't it? How much power is in the house of the Lord? Much. Let us go to the house of the Lord. When we go throughout this week, the rest of this week, is our minds anxiously awaiting the time that we can gather together with our brothers and sisters to commune with the Lord at the table, to sing songs of praise? Is that where our mind is throughout the rest of this week? Or is Satan putting all these other things in our way to say, you don't need to be thinking about that right now. Just wait for that day. You don't need to be thinking about God. But in all reality, we should be thinking about him all the time, shouldn't we? Too many times Satan wants us to just think about him on Sundays and Wednesdays. That's good enough. And he'll convince us, yeah, you're giving him his all. You're giving your all on Sunday. You're singing, praying. You're doing it. But is that what God wanted? Just for us to do his will on Sunday and come to Wednesday night? I mean, it doesn't say in here that we have to be here on tonight, does it? It doesn't say that in the middle of the week you have to meet. But we do Why? Because we love the Lord. If you're here for any other reason, you're here for the wrong reason. But if you're just here to check off the box that, hey, I attended, then you're here for the wrong reason. We sang songs of praise tonight. We heard some excellent scriptures. But there's more to it than just doing that. It's living for Him each day, being the example, and wanting to be in the house of the Lord again. When we go throughout this week, let's always remember the most important thing in our life is God. And if we can keep Him first and foremost in our mind every day, our days will go way better. Because we got Him on our side. If God be for us, who can be against us? But too many times we put Him, we say, God is my co-pilot. Nope. God better be our pilot. He better be leading us as a shepherd leads his sheep. And we better be following. If there's anyone here tonight that has a need of any kind, if you need to make a decision to follow Christ in baptism, to put Him on, to be clothed by Him, let that need be known as we stand and sing.